Okay, so we are now going into the first of the tiebreaker games. This is between Patar and Moon. Oh, good lord! I'm really struggling with the
Pieman,
names
come
now.
on.
Pieman.
Come on, it's English.
I'm
This
going to
shouldn't be
start
too
calling
hard.
him Moonpig. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
What?
But
Well, you tried.
yeah, it's Moonpig. That's a much better name. There you go. The name we should have.
Yeah, moonboat pigs.
You
Perfect.
see on the metal distribution here between Cerberus and Hades. Hades is almost twice as much metal. And Patar already up for this fight. He's ready to take revenge over his unexpected loss earlier on in this tournament to move to
It's beginning. The mind games are setting in and spawning on the northern side of the map. We do have the Moonboat crew, Pieman09, and his opponent spawning in as the black. He does need the revenge if he wants to get out of this series, to have just the opportunity, not even the guarantee, the opportunity to win $300 in next week's tournament series. It is Pag Patar.
We see both players here going for these bot openings. I've seen in the past that players go for bot openings here. Primarily, it used to be because of the threat of a boombot rush. If you went for tanks, the bases were so close, it was quite easy to rush booms and to flood the enemy base and get the win. And if they got on tanks, they couldn't shoot down the booms enough.
Well, looks like we do have Pieman becoming the first person to actually build another factory. We do have the air starting from him. I would like to see this maybe be some just simple bombers just fly around, because he's going to know exactly where the commander is. It's not like it's very complex or very hard to figure out, but with this extra bomber he could quite easily do a ton of damage, just because one bomber flies in, picks off the fabricators, and you're done. You can also of course fly into the backyard of the his opponent here, Patar. These 4 metal extractors that are sort of on the outside of the base, much more exposed than you guys would think. Some simple bombers or docks can easily get in there if they are given the opportunity to just fly around, do some damage, really just get you on nerves. And just the mind game alone like that can quite easily lose you the game. Now it does look like a few docks are starting to move out here. A scout plane from Pieman is going to fly in. Hopefully he doesn't lose it. Of course, going against such a great player, I mean, as we saw with Kiesel versus Womble, the name alone can scare a lot of players, but Pieman is staying strong. So we'll see how he does. Radar going up though in the base. Looks like we do have another bot factory and energy here for Patar, trying to just keep up his docks versus docks. Pieman going for quite literally the same thing, but he does have the 2 anti-air hummingbirds and the bomber. So we'll see how he does in terms of microing with that. Now, it does look like some of the docks are starting to trade out, though. On Pieman's side, or actually they're going to play a little bit passive. Never mind. Some docks, though, trying to move in from the opposite side, or the very bottom. Well, I guess we can call it the eastern side, since we're going to be a little bit smart about this, while everyone else is just doing whatever. Now, it looks like we do have some of the docks. Well, the docks are just starting to do a little bit of pincer here, trying to get Pieman into that little awkward position, so he has to decide whether or not he wants to attack from one side or the other, though. This bomber, though, doing very good damage, cleaning up all of these docks, actually just missing that last one, but the dock does die off to the other docks. Now, it looks like he's going to continue in. These docks, though, doing some really big damage, killing off that extra bomber, and doing a little bit of damage to the anti-air. So now Patar, though he is down in fighters, I believe he is building his own factory, so he will be starting to stabilize in terms of the air game. Now, docks trading out for docks. Pieman taking a really bad trade, though. Those docks moving in a streamline 4 versus 1 is never the best choice. And the air factory does finish up here for Patar. Now, looks like he is going to go straight into the anti-air. He's actually having his commander just help speed them out by assisting in it. And Pieman needs to start deciding what he wants to do. More dock factories, of course. Horrible economy on this map, and it looks like Patar will be doing the exact same. Anti-air, though, trading for anti-air as both players just trying to figure out how they can get the upper advantage now. It looks like a really big docks army is starting to move out, but the orbital factory from Pieman will be the first thing that we do see that is different from both players. Now, as Quitch did mention for this match, obviously the first player that does get orbital, he can go for this, and especially when you think you're ahead, it's very nice to just, let the map control slowly seep into your opponent's favor so that you're ahead. He needs to finish up this factory, though. He's at like 99. Okay, there he goes. He finishes it up, and he needs to get this commander in a good position. And now Pieman actually in a really bad position. These docks, again, trading really well for Patar. Pieman just needs to get his micro under control here. He's taking horrible losses, and these docks actually going to find this orbital factory, so everything is just going to absolutely crash.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is this orbital factory big mistake, but we look at the army numbers. Even though both of them were holding back even in economy, Patar really starting to pull ahead with my world troops, and he's putting it to good use now. He's running all over Pieman's base here, and I don't think Pieman is long for this world. He's lost the troop advantage. He's got nothing else that he can break out now. The Styx is a map where he can turn against you very quickly, and we're seeing that. For some reason, someone has got some metal storage queued up. I think that's a mistake.
Pieman, you were the chosen one. What are you doing? Oh, but this bomber gonna get the connections that he was looking for right before he dies. It's a good start. It's not the one that he can get back into, but it's just the door's open for him now, and as long as he can just wedge himself in between that door before it closes on him, this will be what he needs to get back into the game.
If players have signature moves, I've got to say that Castell's signature seems to be the single laser turret. I've never seen anyone build as many of those things. It's quite normal for a player to maybe use one early on, maybe use one at max expansion, but often the dual laser is favoured. But Castell seems to love those single lasers. Though against Docs, you know, perhaps the best choice here, but very much a Patar. I'm talking about Castell. Very much Patar taking control of the game.
I was gonna say. Kissel's not exactly in this game. Don't know where you're getting him.
I think we're seeing though that Cassell, again, another member of the PEG, which is I think half of the Uber players now are they've all been training one another in the lead up this week. So I'm not surprised to see some similar approaches from each of them.
Another orbital factory though being built here. Pieman just needs to straight rush this if he really wants to do something like this. He needs to find something. I mean, he needs to either just get off this planet as quickly as possible, or just start turtling up to maybe go for some cheeky tier 2 rush or something. But he really just can't. He can't stay on this planet. I mean, as you mentioned, his time here is he's on a timer. But if he can get this out, get an Astraeus, get something to get his stuff on the other planet, he might have a chance.
Well, it's trying to get the orbital factory, but even if he does manage to get off the planet, which seems unlikely at this point, he's going to have such a massive economy disadvantage that it's not going to take much for Patar to rush up his own orbital.
Oh, these docks, though.
And indeed, we see that Patar is putting up his own orbital launcher, which could well end up going up first, because he's got a much stronger economy.
And these docks going to start working it down. This is going to die, and I think that was the nail in the coffin for Pieman.
Yeah, I think so. We see the orbital launcher going up at the back now of Patar's base.
Oh, he's rebuilding it. Oh, this hurts to watch.
It's his only option. He has no choice. He has to get that door. He's committed to it. He's lost in the war. He's got to get off planet with that orbital launcher, but I don't like the odds of him ever leaving this world. And as Patar says, yep, there is no escape. There's no escape. He knows it.
Death is inevitable.
Yes, Pieman desperately trying to get off the world. Oh, it's a sad day for Pieman. He knows this is over, and I'm afraid that I think losing this game against Patar is probably going to be the nail in the coffin for his dreams in qualifying.
That just sucks there, Paul. I'll tell you what.
We've reached accent hour. So that's the stage of the tournament we've reached now. It's late night Exodus, where some accents are going to be broken out. Not so much by myself, but that's why I have a co-caster here.
Oh, am I allowed to use them though?
I'll break out the accents.
Yes. Well, I don't know any of them at the moment, but oh wait, no, I did O Alpha, a Russian cast. Oh, I totally remember that. Thank you for totally just All right, totally
allow me
one
to
more
save
time.
us from Ghost there. As Patar once again pushes in another massive force of docks. Pieman tries to defend his orbital factory. He's put up some turrets. He's put up a wall, but the docks coming in from the other side. And oh dear, ouchies, ouchies. This is. Pieman is now almost completely out of troops at this point. It's got 40, 13 to about 140 on Patar's side. It's not a pretty solid.
Oh, these docks, just cleaning everything up though. I don't think they'll get the factory this time, but it's uninstalling already.
Oh, he's got one in a position where it can't be attacked.
I believe, little docks, buddy.
There's some docks going back there to finish him off, but we see. It's switched over to Grenadiers now for Patar. The Grenadier forces. This is, I think even if Pieman gets off this world, in fact, has Patar made it over to Hades yet? I think his orbital launcher is done.
I think he has it up, but looking over Hades, there is nothing there for him. So.
Yeah, I think his Pieman called the GG with his oops there. Certainly, I see no way Nope, he's going for the Astraeus. He is going to try and prolong this to the end.
I believe.
And oh, here comes the Avenger. So we're seeing an Avenger go up.
No!
It's not going up fast. It's not going up fast enough though. He should have had the Avenger up actually a while ago and just parked it over this orbital. So
the thing is, he's not going to see the Astraeus until I think the pickup. So he could just go for the anti-air snipe and kill the commander. But oh god, he's going to get away. Oh, he's gonna get away.
Oh, that was really sloppy play there, Batar. You have so many opportunities to stop that from happening. Avenger over the factory.
Playing with your food.
Fighters nearby, and I cannot believe he let Pyman get away with that. Not that it's gonna help, but really he needs to stop building Avengers now, and he needs to get, there we go, an orbital fabricator, because he just needs a teleporter wherever it is that Pyman lands. Slap a teleporter nearby, and then come through with your troops.
I mean, in all actuality, he could really just super delay this out and just start having his commander just jump in between the planets with the Astraeus and just, you know, wait until either the Annihilator zaps the planet or the Halley smashes the Annihilator.
Well,
but
that is actually strict. That's actually one of the things that's prohibited by the rules. It's one of the.
Oh, booty your rules.
Yeah, there's no irritating commanders hopping between planet nonsense.
Boo.
Yeah, we're not gonna Bronze League this.
Oh, but that's the best part, because then you just watch like the Bronze League player trying to understand what a Halley is before they accidentally smack their planet with the commander into Hades, and then you laugh as the orbital player wins.
It's better than the nightmare days of when there was no delay when a unit arrived at a planet and it could literally instantaneously arrive and then leave.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Everyone
good
just shivers a little.
Yeah, those were not the good days. Alright, let's see where he's landing. Okay, so let's. Is there any deep space radar only just going up? And that deep space radar, did he see that? I'm not sure. I'm just going to chronocam this and see if the deep space radar came up in time to catch the Astraeus going down to the planet.
I mean, I think it's been up the entire time.
No, he's only just finished building it.
Oh.
And, he didn't see where a Pyman landed. I mean, honestly, this is just shameful play by Batar at this point. Hasn't got an orbital radar up, and just until now, he didn't have an Avenger. He's got his teleporter ready, but I don't think he knows where he needs to go on the other planet.
Well, see, this is where I'd really like to see him switch back to docks, because Grenadiers are all fine and dandy, but they don't shoot up. So Pyman with this air factory first, which is effectively his only option to just try and get back into this game. You know, if he gets one or two bombers out, these Grenadiers aren't going to do anything, and again, he might just get by the skin of his teeth. So with these Grenadiers kind of starting to pile up, I believe we do see the orbital fabricator of Ptah starting to move out. And we will see exactly where he decides to choose this now. A lot of times, especially... Oh, okay, he actually does have one up. Excuse me. He does have a orbital fabricator effectively on the other side of the planet. So we will see a nice, long, drawn-out, bloody match here. Especially from Pyman trying to kill off the units... Or Ptah trying to kill off Pyman's units, excuse me. 3 air fabricators, though, are the count of fabricators that Pyman has remaining, and, of course, the amount of fabricators he has. Now, this deep space radar, not sure if that's really the best idea, especially since he doesn't have the economy. He should, at this point, just know that there is something on this his own. Well, I guess the planet he's residing upon. I don't want to really want to call it
air,
his,
hasn't he? So it's break up the Firefly and just go scout the planet, for God's sake. You don't need that orbital radar. I'm not sure why you're building that orbital radar. I guess maybe he's worried about an SSX laser snipe, but I think
I would think anchors or something. But
I'd be worried about the fact that you've got a mobile count of 2 and your opponent's got a mobile count of 274. That to me would be a big concern. I mean,
but it's only Grenadiers. That's the thing. If he gets like 4 or 5 bombers and just flies over this, there's only like maybe 7 docks that I can count in that entire army, and it can get cleaned up very easily.
Yeah, Batar is kind of making... Well, we see now that the bombers are coming out, and Batar really making hard work of this victory. I think if we were to do a list of all the things you could do wrong when facing an opponent rushing orbital, I think Batar may have done them all.
Yeah, he's hit about 4 of them. That's fair.
I mean, he did well to claim the land. It's just it really should never let Pyman get off in the first place. And here we go, the bomber, the unstoppable bomber.
Damage. He's got to run away.
He's trying to micro. He's like, I can dodge this. No, you can't, Batar. No, you can't.
Well, one bomber slowly starting to nibble at all that, while the air fabricators are starting to do their magic. This bomber is going to be granted the commander status as he just gets all of these kills, being the ace. That does save Pieman for probably about 2.5 minutes or something. I don't know. I don't think it'll be too long.
Well, painfully, Patar can't actually get his troops up to the planet because he's stalling on energy, so his teleporter keeps turning off. Yep. So, well, for some reason though, his bombers have gone away. Where are they going?
They're off. Maybe they're just off, kind of scouring the rest of the planet for their last glimmers of sanity before they get absolutely just self-destructed.
Come back and bomb this force. What could possibly be more important than destroying the force that's heading right at your base?
He's decided to start looking at the queued up orders. He's got, I think, his bomber just patrolling the entire planet for some silly reason. I think he's looking around right now for the teleporter to see if he can bomb snipe it.
Yeah, I don't get that. One bomber is not going to do this. This is the immediate threat. It's great to take out the teleporter to cover reinforcements, but if we can't ask when there's... Well, he's got some more bombers.
But this is going to be really nice. He needs to fly through instead of just dying all his... Oh, there is the connections. There's the connections I was looking for.
Oh, Patar. Oh, Patar. What on earth?
And look at this. Pieman now has a chance. I mean, he's losing his bombers now to like 3 grenadier or dogs, but this is what he needed. He needed mass bombers, and while it is mass dogs finally coming through this teleporter, Pieman is starting to come back. It's 103 to 251. Started at like 10, and this is what he needed. This is exactly what he needed.
I have to say that was just painful to witness. It really is. Just good lord.
Oh,
just
but
a single fabricator, just one fabricator sent up through that teleporter, he could get his own air factory up, and he still has not sent one up. What on earth is he doing?
You want to know something really silly here? Pieman does have the deep space, and we were kind of calling out why this was a really bad choice, or we were calling this a really bad choice, but look at this now. He knows that there's an SSX coming, and all he has to do is throw up an umbrella, and there will be nothing that this SSX will do, and that's just, what, like 8,000 metal down the drain?
Yeah, I think this is exactly what he's been anticipating. He's trying to deal with the threats that he's expecting to come. He needs to be ready for his... Although, he didn't even need to go with the deep space radar for that. Just a basic radar in his base would have given him enough vision to provide umbrella visibility. So he could just shot that laser down as it came in. But really, come on. I mean, Pieman, for the love of... I mean, Patar, for the love of God, will you please send a fabber to this planet?
I would just like to point out that, I mean, I'm going to be super critical here. Pieman's not expanding anymore, though he's also floating, and in a game where you're down quite a bit, you kind of need to take an advantageous of everything you can get your little hands on, you grab it, and you secure it, and you never let it go. But here comes the SSX, and I swear to God, if this does connect, I'm going to be very mad at Pieman for, first, okay, he is starting the umbrella, good, but he needs to get everything he has on this immediately if he wants to make sure he's safe.
Well, he's going to need to manually target it as well, because there's Avenger cover coming in ahead of the SSX, and that's going to distract the umbrella, which isn't... I don't think it's smart enough to target the lasers specifically. He's going to need to do that himself. He's moving the commander over, though. He knows that laser's on the way, so I think he's coming to put everything he's got. Might want to bring some more of his ladders back.
It should be built in time. Just looking at the travel time and the speed it's going, it's already at like 70%. He should be safe from this. The problem is, I think what Patar needs to do is just start putting anchors around the base, just getting that kind of orbital contain, since he's sort of forgotten how to attack move.
It's just, this is, yeah, I think what we're seeing here is that a lot of top-level players perhaps aren't playing as many multi-planet games as you might think.
Because no one likes sticks. I think that's kind of the obvious here.
We are seeing some pretty shocking play going on at this point. I mean, really, there's really no excuse to not be having an air presence on this planet when the one threat to your force is...
This deserves to die.
Yeah, no, a bombing run along there, it would have been a beautiful tribute to Star Wars right there. Little trench run.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Kill them all.
Now, I don't like this idea of these docks of Pieman moving in to attack this docks of Patar. I mean, I think he should have sent in the bombers at the same time to try and pick off all the units, and then having the docks moving to kill off the anti-air as he's kind of losing the bombers, but what do I know at this point?
It's mixed. Well, you know, Patar has decided to mix in anti-air rather than just send one Fabra and get an air force. I mean,
no, it's It's okay. He's got tier 2 and a tier 2 Faber. So while we were laughing at him about how bad he's playing, he has actually been getting tier 2 on his planet. So he's not been as clumsy as we think.
Well, he's building up nicely. But the problem is that if he loses that teleporter, and Pieman's got an Air Force on here, getting another
yeah, but he's losing it to the. He just lost his entire Air Force.
That was some clumsy use of air, though. He had to target those AA specifically, and it looked like he was doing formation flyovers instead. But I mean, if Patar's really gambling with the approach that he's taken, because he hasn't established any kind of presence on this planet beyond his troops. He loses the teleporter, putting down another teleporter could be quite tricky, because once your opponent gets enough bombers, you can't pull that off anymore, and he's gonna have to start unit cannoning, and he's making it very hard for himself. And even now, look, you see he's been driven back because he hasn't got enough AA in there anymore, so he's pulling back to get reinforcements. It's like, just put up an air factory, get some fighters, and then you don't have to worry about the bombers at all anymore, and you can go win the game.
I think it's fair to say the longer this game goes on, the more of an opportunity Pieman has. The thing is, Patan needs to find a way to lengthen his window of actually killing this commander as long as possible. Tier 2, the right choice here. This anti-air, I think, a great... Okay, this is not... I want Pieman to win now. This is absolutely stupid.
It's got the tier 2 metal. Well, how's he doing on...
Why?
Oh, he hasn't... Oh, he hasn't tier 2 metal... In actual fact, he's missed the metal spot on Cerberus. He hasn't even tier 2'd his own planet yet. Which is definitely where he should be investing his, yeah, that's where he should be putting his tier 2 metal extractors up. Not,
why? Like, there's... Send a Faber, throw some AA on this silly planet, and then just kill him. It's really not... I mean, even I know that you just invade a planet, you do some pressure, and then you just get the counter to what they're using. Usually, if it's mass air in this case, you just build mass anti-air, and you just let them planet patrol around and kill everything. But this commander, I don't like
flying
this.
Around in an Astraeus in the air layer. A fighter could win the game right now.
One fighter.
But,
one fighter to rule them all could be the hero.
Let's not forget that about 8 minutes or so ago, Pieman had one offensive unit, just one. And now here he is, with his economy, and he's got an army, and he has a presence, and you're like, how? How is this even possible? How is he still in this game? He had literally one unit.
Pata has given him the opportunity called winning this match on a silver platter and said, here, take this from me if you can. Pieman's doing the right choice. The problem is he just doesn't have the units right now to do it, and he's losing most of his base, so that's going to be a really big issue. This anti-air, I think, was the only thing that kind of had the golden opportunity strapped down to that silver platter that said, yeah, don't know if air is really the best choice there, Chief. These docks, though, are... Oh, God.
I think switching to... Yeah, that's shameful, and Pieman should be ashamed.
I mean, this is... I mean, come and get him. It's chilling there.
It's like one fighter. But I think the mistake that Pieman made, actually, was switching back to ground forces. Because Patar is always going to have the stronger ground force. He can't fight that. Patar had the eco advantage. He should have just kept with the air. If Patar wasn't going to build fighters, he should have done, thank you very much, Patar. I'm going to go find your teleporter and bomb it, and then I don't care how much AA you've got. I've got so many bombers, I'm just going to destroy everything.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. I think he should have gone for that teleporter first instead of trying to fight this army. I mean, I don't think he was expecting it to be just grenadiers and like 1 or 2 docks from the beginning. I think he was expecting like mass anti-air. I mean, just the mind game, of course, getting back into that. But definitely going for that teleporter first would have pretty much guaranteed him a lot more stall time. And I think this is just kind of being BM, taking the tier 2 on Hades with his tier 2 fabricator before even getting all of it on his own.
Pieman is finally giving the GGs there, but well played to Pieman though. I mean, he lasted far longer than I would have expected. And
Definitely.
He certainly when he got hit this planet, he started playing it right. Rapid expansion with the air fabbers, which much safer than normal because your opponent doesn't have any kind of air presence there. But transitioning into ground, I think lost him. He couldn't win on the ground. He was never going to get back there. He had to own the planet, massive air presence, stop any teleports going down. Because if he can kick Patar off of Hades, at that point he can actually turn around and win the game because Hades has a huge number of additional metal spots over Cerberus.
Agreed. I mean, Pieman drew it out a lot longer than I think either of us were expecting it, really, and he got it. I think he had maybe, if he had maybe another 40 seconds of just build time, he probably would have taken it. But obviously, 40 seconds in a game like that can be huge. And as we saw, I mean, it went straight in Patah's favor. So it looks like Patah will be the winner of that group series. So I guess you're right this time, Quitch.